Sky Squad, we are back in the building. And of course, we got to talk about love and marriage, Huntsville. We are talking season 5, episode 9. And the title is To Be or Not to Be at Peace. Okay. Now, if you are in the building, good morning. Happy Sunday to you. It's been a long time since we've done a live. Okay. Um, Now that Beverly Hills is off, I got to try to determine whether or not I'm going to be doing a midweek live for Salt Lake City. I don't know. I mean, to me, it just looks so random from the clips that I'm seeing. So I just don't know about it. But not nonetheless, we here today. All right. So last night's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Also, listen, if you are in the chatterization, let us know where you're watching from. I see we got Los Angeles in the building, Hampton. Who else is in here? We got South Africa. Oh my God, we actually stopped in Stellenbosch when we were oh my God, we were coming back from the mountains. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful town. Oh my God. We got Miramar in the place, we got Seattle, we got somebody said Quantico, Jamaica, Birmingham. Y'all going fast today, Tennessee, Brooklyn in the building, Chi-Town, Jersey, Madison, Wisconsin. I see y'all. I see y'all coming from the airport, Bay. I got you. I got you. We got Huntsville in the building, Virginia Beach, Grand Rapids, Texas, Phoenix, Detroit. Hey, Richmond, Virginia, baby. My old stomping grounds, Alabama. Tanya says, please do a recap of Salt Lake City. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my hardest. We're gonna try to watch and see. Birmingham. I love Birmingham. Philly, Baton Rouge, Connecticut, Detroit by way of Huntsville. I see y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in and turning up. I appreciate y'all. We got some things to talk about because last night's episode, I want to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, and I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna give it a 10. I give last night's episode a 10. I want to know what y'all give it. Let me know in the chatterization what you give it. The reason I'm going to give this episode a 10 is, we had there was the segment with Kimmy making her revelation about her health situation. And guys, I got to tell you, this was probably one of the most powerful, episodes that I have ever seen. Having spoken with her, thank you so much, January. I appreciate that. Which is another reason why this episode was so powerful to me. Having spoken to Kimmy before this episode premiered and just kind of getting a sense of, the level of strength and power in why she decided to continue filming. I just thought it was beautiful. I really did. I really did. And then also having, as I've told you guys before, a very close family member of mine, having get a cancer diagnosis last year, and not really, going into detail about it, but I just kept working and doing my thing and, kind of going back home when I needed to go home, and then having another one experience a similar situation this year. It has been crazy for the past 2 years. So Kimmy's story really resonated with me, and I know that it probably resonated for a lot of you as well, as I can see in the comment section. I do think that anytime someone can, highlight an issue that needs to be addressed, especially from a health perspective, I think that it is just an amazing and courageous thing to do, specifically because, that also is her at her core. I always, my belief now, having been surrounded by people who work in the medical profession, is that anyone who works in that profession, they have a passion for people. Okay. And so when you understand that and you see that passion for people, especially for someone like her to go through something like this, it's a challenge, man, to wrap my head around. And so we just want to send, thoughts and prayers and warm wishes to Kimmy, and, and just continue to send her that good energy so that she can just continue to move forward and just like, boom, conquer and do what she needs to do. This was also a good episode to me because as I was watching the group scene with the ladies last night, I had a revelation that I felt like certain things on this show have really started to click. And last night, with seeing the guys and then seeing the ladies together, this to me has really started to feel like a more cohesive cast. And we'll talk about it when we get there. But I have to say this: the addition of Stormy and Courtney has felt like a more natural inclusion than sort of the way we were introduced to the Whitlows. Maybe it wasn't the Whitlows introduction, maybe it was how they maneuvered throughout the stories. It just didn't seem to fit, right? Last night was the first time I got a sense that I felt like everybody fit last night. All right. And again, especially with the inclusion of Stormy and Courtney, because I felt like they bring something to the cast that I felt like is needed. All right. And that's just me. All right. That's how I feel. But we got to talk about Stormy, because Stormy too was feeling a certain type of way. Okay. So I happened to catch this on Instagram right before I was about to actually do my live today. And, this is pretty much from the desk of Stormy, all right, on her Instagram stories. So let's discuss it, all right? So Stormy says, "Oh, I want to have been on the internet so bad, but that's also out of my character." And then she has the crying emojis. She says, "F it, here it goes. For almost a year, my life and brain has been consumed with so much petty, low vibrational, low level BS." It just made me think about these low vibrational plates. Okay. Anyway, all because I feel the journey is a part of a bigger vision God has for me. Now we're going to come back to that statement. But she says, "I'm trying so hard to trust the process and stick it out. Yet I'm so tired of strategizing, looking at MFers sideways, wondering if they real or faux. I'm just going to say fake, because that's pretty much what it means. While knowing the majority fake, or having to think about what type of time they on, etc." She says, "In real life, I monitor the F out of my peace. I don't even let people get near me. If I F with them in my heart heavy, I keep it light and distant until time tells. And now I consistently have energy sucking experiences, playing the game and giving besties when I know the energy is inconsistent and foul behind the scenes. I'm honestly too real for this." She says, "I built a life for myself that's so honest, so pure, so authentic, impressive considering the process, all while being transparent and never capping. With no boost, out the mud, the hard way. It's still hard to this day. Even harder, to be honest." Let me make this bigger. Hold on for a second. "Hella respected for it at that. I don't know no one who has followed my journey or story organically who has not been inspired. Until now, I've never been in a situation where the beauty of that is the thing that has tried to be taken from me, discredited, etc." She then says, "I remember working my butt off, losing sleep, crying, dang near dying to create a life different from the one I knew, just to show people it's possible. My story and my journey has always been enough. I went through, it says, I thought I sent through the hell for it to be enough. I thought I went through the hell enough for it to be enough. But the environment, it's a joke. I'm in the wrong room." Then she says, "Okay, I feel better now. I talked to Courtney. He just boosted me up and reminded me to have fun and, most importantly, keep it real always." So two important things that I think we have here. One, I think that what Stormy is experiencing right now, I think is something that many people who are new to the world of reality end up experiencing, especially when they come on to an already established franchise. Now, the questions that I have for her are, one, I mean, who is real and who is not real behind the scenes? That's I think the good question. Now, the other thing that I will say to her is, one of the reasons why I know that I would never be able to do reality TV is because I think that there are oftentimes, with many shows, there's two shows typically happening with reality TV. There is the show that's happening, that's playing out on the screen that we watch every week. And then there's the show that's happening behind the scenes, which usually includes a lot of politics, etc. Wendy Acefo touched on this in her interview with Carlos King. She talked about the behind the scenes politics that she had no idea about. So one of the things that you often have to do when you get onto a reality TV, specifically on an ensemble show, is you really have to navigate the waters of what is real and what is for the show. All right. And so one of the things that I would caution for Stormy as she begins to navigate this is, one, to keep in mind that she says in the beginning, she says, all because I feel the journey is a part of a bigger picture, a bigger vision God has for me, is to, one, keep that in mind if you're going to stay on this show. Now, two, the next point that I'm going to make for her is this. She talked to Courtney. She says he boosted me up and reminded me to have fun, and most importantly, to keep it real always. I'm going to go ahead and tell you like this. I'm the type of person that, I know that personally I wouldn't be able to do reality TV because at this point on an ensemble show, because I'm just emotionally not wired for it, right? In my real life, I mean, I pretty much stay in the house. I will, do my travels, and I do what I do, and I do it with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I come on here, I comment, and we have fun, and we have a good old kiki, and that's about it. And then I'll go do some news shows and kiki with them, and that's about it. And I come home. And I don't really have to deal with too many people in my day-to-day life that are outside of my circle of trust, right? So for me, this will be a difficult experience. But I would say for Stormy, because I feel like if she feels like God has a bigger plan for her, then just keep that in mind as you maneuver through this. The best thing that you can do for yourself on reality TV is to always keep it 100% for real, okay? And I feel like if you continue to do that, you will continue to be a powerhouse on the show, because even with the what we've had of you thus far this season, I feel like it resonates with a lot of viewers. It resonates with me, and I feel like it's a value add to the show. So I honestly just say keep it real, keep continuing to be you, do you, and you have to let the chips fall where they may with the people behind the scenes. You don't have to get down and dirty and into the weeds and into the mud with nobody else. All right, you can continue to do you, and the audience will see you for who exactly you really are, and that's it on period. Now, let's move on. Because I say all this because I actually really enjoy Stormy as a character on this show, and I do feel like she is a value add to the show. So I just feel like all you got to do is continue to be you, and anybody else that can't really get with that, it is what it is. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna step on a landmine or two, because that's the name of the game. But at the end of the day, if you show up as your real and true and authentic self, that's all you can really do. Meanwhile, let's get into the episode, all right? So Stormy's husband, Courtney, invites all the guys out to play basketball. And then we get this little Love and Marriage presents a middle-age pickup game title card, which I thought was hilarious, with the Globetrotter music at that, all right? Really getting into the whole middle age aspect of it all. Hold on, we got a super chat. Bruce says, Stormy is so dope and would like for her to be a full-time cast member. Just a glimpse of what I see. I enjoy her. Bye to the Whitlows. Ooh. To be honest with you, I feel the same way, Bruce. I just feel like, and I feel like maybe we can continue to try the Whitlows, because maybe I feel like we're getting a little bit more real with them. I did like some of what I got from Tiffany last night. But we'll get to that when we get to it. And thank you for the super chat, Bruce. I appreciate you. A lot of people talking about she cursing, but also talking about God. I mean, have y'all never heard of the cursing pastor? I know plenty of pastors who curse, actually, to be honest with you. I love God, but I'll let a curse word slip every now and again. Although I try not to curse on here, because the reason I don't curse on here is because I, to protect the ears and YouTube. And then I don't know whose kid may end up watching this. And then I can't curse on TV. So I probably shouldn't curse here. And it don't really sound right coming from my mouth anyway when I curse. So it is what it is. Thank you. Please like the video. Yeah, let's get into it. So anyway, Courtney lets the guys know that Stormy is going to be trying to get the girls together, and Martell warns him he better bring security. We get into this idea of Courtney being interested in commercial real estate, and Marceau is willing to teach him. So that's going to come up in another scene. So then they switch to Martell and Melody. And Martell reveals that she actually invited him to Destin like they used to do for their family trips or whatnot. And so Marceau asks, well, is this going to be confusing to the kids? My thought is, and Martell says this himself, he says, my kids are smart enough to know what divorce is, and they just want to make the kids happy. So Maurice warns him that there's going to be some hope involved, and that there will be some chance that mom and dad can get back together. Martell thinks it's best if the kids see them in a positive light, and it's a part of effectively co-parenting. And Lewis does back him up, and because Lewis is divorced too, so he would know. So let's get into this real quick. For me, I want to know what y'all think. Do y'all think that this is Melody and Martell traveling to Destin together for the kids is a good idea? Personally, I do. Okay. I think it's a great idea because for me, anything that they can do to spend shared time with the kids, personally, it seems like it's a step in the right direction because they have been at odds with each other on and off throughout this divorce process. I think it would do the kids some good to spend some time with them, in a space where they're together. Now, I probably would not want to confuse them by sleeping in the same room or nothing like that. Mommy gonna go to her room and daddy's gonna go to his room, but you guys can maneuver back and forth, betwixt the two, right? But I think it's a great idea. Like, why not, still be able to give the kids those fun family moments, even though the parents are separated? You know what I'm saying? And I do agree it could present some a situation where the kids have hope that they're going to get back together, but the kids probably already will have a hope that they will get back together. So I do think that this was a great conversation because I felt like everybody really was coming from a genuine place of concern for the kids. But I do agree with Martell and with Lewis that this is a good step in the right direction. The reason, one of the reasons why, and I feel like I fell in love with this show is because I love the idea of seeing relationships, particularly like amongst Black couples, and just being able to watch and see how they navigate through, even if we don't agree with how they always do it. It's fascinating to me to watch, but it's also empowering at the same time. And so I really like this scene a lot. Melody and Stormy meet up at the Dreamcatcher store to look at crystals and take pictures of their auras, okay? Melody fills her in on the comeback group meeting about Miss Wanda, and she says she was proud of herself for not responding to Letitia's digs and feels like Letitia acts oblivious to get the sympathy card. I do sometimes kind of feel like Letitia is, kind of acts oblivious to some of the things that Miss Wanda does. But again, it is her mama. So I try to keep that in mind because I know if it was my mama, I might be a little, overprotective too. You know what I'm saying? So I try to look at it from both aspects. Stormy then asked if she and Letitia are now friends as a result of the comeback group meeting. And Melody says she is not looking for any more friends. My fear for Melody on this show is that, I think I have come to understand, or at least have an admiration for the cast of this show in general, right? My fear for Melody is that as she maneuvers through this, that I don't want her to isolate herself from the group, right? So it's good that we see, because this scene is basically a scene where Stormy is revealing that she wants to get all the girls together. And Melody is sort of like, I don't know. So I was kind of wondering if, was this scene filmed after the girls get together? And the reason why I asked that is because when Melody shows up at the girls' event, she has the same hairstyle with the blonde streak that she had at the comeback group meeting. So it just kind of made me feel like, was this scene inserted in later? Did anybody else wonder that? Because I feel like sometimes you can follow the continuity of a show based on the hair and the nails of the woman involved. I mean, because it could change, right? So it just made me wonder, or maybe she just went back to the same hairstyle. I really don't know, but it looked the same to me. All right. But that again, that's just me. I just be peeping these little things out. And it's always a person like me out there who's noticing some things that I probably shouldn't be noticing. Miss Bless 64 says Letitia's ready to fight. She wants that smoke. um, no, girls XYZ. You're gonna have to go. Okay. You can't be up in here spamming, trying to send people to some type of nasty link. I see you. Meanwhile, sorry y'all, I had to block a bee. So anyway, we get that scene out the way. So then Courtney meets up with Marceau. And again, I like how we are getting more of Stormy and Courtney in this episode, kind of really centered on how they were maneuvering through this group, right? And so, Courtney asked, well, was Martell, see, and I like Courtney because Courtney was asking some questions that I felt like, oh, okay. Courtney came to play today, okay? He was asking the questions that I feel like I would want to know too, but I probably wouldn't ask, right? So first he asked, well, wasn't Martell a part of, this whole thing with y'all and the commercial real estate? And Marceau has to explain it to him. Well, no, Martell was more on the residential side and I work more on the commercial side, okay? And so then Marceau wants to know, well, Courtney, what are your business objectives? And Courtney really wants to be an investor because, like me, I would want to, throw a little money at you, okay? And you do all the work, all right? And then I just make some coin off the back end, okay? You take your cut, I take my cut, and then everybody's happy, right? But he wants to do that with Stormy because they come as a package deal. Now, I like the idea because even when I had my interview with her, she talked about how the two of them really kind of partnered together, and the two of them coming together is what really made the magic happen for her, for the business. I won't even say her business, for their business. And so I like this because it provides a direct sort of it provides a balance to what we see with Marceau and with Letitia. But the interesting thing to me is Marceau makes it such a big deal that he doesn't really work with Letitia, or he makes the decisions. And I really couldn't quite figure it out. Is Scolt? I thought that their business was Scolt, right? So if Scolt is the business that runs the commercial real estate and Letitia owns the majority stake, is it just that she owns the majority stake and he is actually the person who is making all the decisions? That's kind of what I'm wondering, because that's what it sounded like. And so Courtney then, rightfully so, asked, well, I mean, I just thought it was interesting that he said it. He was like, you might just have a problem with working with women. Okay. I said, well, now we needed Courtney about 2 seasons ago. Okay. We really did, because I feel like Marceau has somewhat evolved over the past, two seasons. But, I do still think he's still got a little bit of that old Marceau in him. But it was interesting to me that Courtney said it because, he's around them maybe a little bit more than what we are. Maybe, I don't know. Or that was just his general overall assessment Regardless, the way he said it and the way he said it to Marceau's face, I felt like had it was better received than what Lewis had said about them behind their backs. So that's another reason why I feel like I respect Courtney and Stormy a bit more and how they have been introduced, is because I feel like they have come in and when they make a statement or they make a judgment, they state it, okay? Whether they wrong or right. I like that, all right? Personally, because I feel like that's what you want on a reality TV show. You want people who can say how they feel, ask direct questions, say it to somebody's face, and however they come out with it is however they come out with it, and whatever the outcome is whatever the outcome is. I like it. I likes it. So anyway, they get into this interesting discussion about how a husband and a wife can work together or not work together. For Marcel, he feels like it's best if he and Letitia don't really work in coordination with each other that much, while Courtney wants to work in tandem with Stormy because he feels like, I mean, listen, we made 20 million together. And then Marcel is like, well, we've made 17 million not working together. And I'm like, well, then Courtney says this. Well, imagine how much you could make if y'all actually did work together, which I thought was a good point. Then Marceau says, imagine how much we wouldn't have made. I said, not y'all gonna lose money if y'all work together. I thought the point of getting married was to find a partner that can help you build your life. You know what I'm saying? That's just me though. When he said the 17 million, I was like, now that's the first we done heard of this one. But listen, the show ain't really it ain't really about their bank accounts. This is the first time the bank account situation has been talked about. And so now, congrats on the 17. I'm trying to get to 17 million too. I mean, I will take the one. All right. Get me to the 1 million. All right. Oh Lord. That was a fun scene. Meanwhile, we get to the Maurice and Kimmy scene. In light of the fact that personally, I just lost one of my best friends. Two, I have had two members of my family go through this situation with cancer. And in light of the severity of it, I won't go into too much detail because it's a difficult thing for me to talk about. However, what I will say is that Kimmy does break the fourth wall in this moment. Maurice has taken, the night to, sit her down in their home theater and really just, make her some espresso or chocolate martini. Was it espresso or chocolate martinis? I tend to like the espresso martinis better, but I do like a chocolate martini too. But I was like, you could have put them in some martini glasses, Maurice. But I ain't gonna be mad at you because you probably could get more up in the mason jar. But anyway, and they go over, her diagnosis. Essentially, she has found, I guess, a lump or lumps in her chest, and then one on the lymph node, from my understanding, which is concerning. She has to go get a biopsy. So, or has she had the biopsy? I'm not necessarily sure. I'm trying to not read through my notes so much, but what I can say is that she does break the fourth wall, and she goes into, in her confessional, how she had to really think about whether or not this was something that she wanted to continue filming through, because I can imagine this would be a lot. But she says that if she can help at least one person through this, by doing this, then I think that then she says that this is worth it. And I just can say, Kimmy, this is going to change a lot of people's lives, seeing them go through, seeing you go through this process, because we already, I think there was already a lot of respect that a lot of us have for Kimmy. And so then to see this process, it touches your heart. So with that being said, um, we're just gonna keep keep Kimmy in our prayers and allow God to continue to bless her as she maneuvers through whatever she's going through. And I'm sure we'll get an update from her at the reunion. And we'll just watch the story play out. Meanwhile, over at Stormy's house for the peace party, she's got the violins, she's got some sage, there's an orchestra playing in the background, or at least that's what I heard on the screen. Tiffany arrives, followed by Melody. And see, these are the types of events I want to see. Okay. I want to see somebody at their house, at their mansion, okay, in the gazebo, in the backyard, under the atrium, all right, by the Olympic sized swimming pool with the horses in the background running amok. The horses probably got wings. There's, I think, a unicorn there. Umpteen dogs are playing. There's, just all types of things are happening at Stormy's house. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. This is what I want to see on my television screen. All right. That's how you throw an event. Okay. And so anyway, Tiffany arrives, followed by Melody. All right. This is where in my notes I wrote, was this scene filmed before Melody's earlier scene, and they filmed Melody's scene with Stormy as a pickup scene later? Anyway, Kimmy can appreciate the tranquil scene when she walks up. Letitia arrives. I always feel like sometimes, like, at the Galentine's Day event, I felt like everybody was dressed up. I felt like when Letitia came into the Galentine's, Letitia came in like, I don't want to say she was ready to rumble, because I don't think she was going to fight nobody. Like, that ain't it. But again, I felt like she came at least maybe not ready to rumble, but ready to take off running if necessary. I don't know. Did anybody else feel like that? I feel like everybody else came in and in their little, yeah, she's low-key luxury. I like it. Everybody else came in they low-key luxury, okay, in their dresses, and they just came ready to, in their flowiness and stuff like that. And Letitia come in her t-shirt and some shorts, her booty shorts, and I just felt like, but to her credit, she says, well, you told me we was gonna be sitting on the ground and I want to be comfortable. So, but for that, I can't be mad. But I was just like, I see you, Tisha. You just want to be ready in case you need to take off. Because listen, that's why I don't like wearing flip-flops outside. Because I grew up around a bunch of dogs. We would have to go up the street to catch the bus to school. And so you might not ever know when you're gonna have to take off running. So even to this day, I have a hard time wearing like flip-flops outside and around and stuff like that, because I have a fear of that I'm gonna have to take off running. So Letitia, you might just, if you have that fear too, I understand it, girl. Meanwhile, y'all don't know nothing about growing up with dogs around y'all neighborhood that y'all gotta run from. Okay, that's woo. All right. So Destiny arrives. What I think is her cousin Demi or something, and she says it in her confessional. I think she wants to have some backup, okay, because she's hoping that Melody doesn't embarrass herself again by trying to fight somebody's grandma. And so Melody in her confessional, why Destiny feels like she needs backup at a peace party, okay. I'm trying to feel like how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Because Stormy was like, I didn't know you were bringing a guest to my home that you did not tell me about. That is something I don't like. Okay. But especially if I'm already like clearly Stormy has already been like a little wary of the situation with some of the people. So then you're going to bring somebody that I did not invite, okay, to the filming, to my house, in my peaceful space that I do not know. Okay. That's a problem for me. And Stormy, I think, did a good job by saying, I didn't know you was gonna bring a guest But thank God I have extra seating here, okay, under my atrium, and I got extra food. So anyway, I like how she just kind of rolled with it as a gracious hostess. But she does set things off and she lets them know that she regrets contributing to the Galentine's event and she wants to try to turn things around with this event because she felt like she played a part in the Galentine's Day event going so awry, right? So she reveals that if she and Destiny can move past their issues and Destiny throwing a whole chair at her, then anybody can move past their issues. Why didn't we see Destiny throw the chair? Why did y'all edit that out? If we could have seen that blowout at the Madani opening, we definitely could have seen somebody throw a chair. Okay. I mean, listen, do I want people in real life to throw chairs? No. Okay. Do I want them to throw chairs on reality TV? No. But if it happened, it happened. Okay. So if you ain't gonna edit out what happened at the Madani thing, then don't edit out somebody throwing a chair because I want to see it so I can talk about it. All right. Now, they all grab some sage. They saying the mantras. They, doing the things and all kinds of stuff like that. Okay. And then they go around the room and they talk about everything that they want or they're going to speak into their existence in their life. As Melody is speaking about wanting the peace, Destiny. Get the coughing off to the side. Okay. Now, she ain't buying that Melody wants no peace because she was not on that type of energy when she came to the Madani event, according to Destiny. Meanwhile, Melody conversely sympathizes with knowing that Destiny is in a much better place. Okay. Because Destiny says that that's what Destiny says. She's in a better place. Living a life like it's golden. So when they get to Kimmy, she gets emotional and, talks about being able to overcome anything. And Stormy gets up and gives her a hug and asks if she wants to share. And Kimmy says not right now because she don't want to tell these girls quite yet because she don't know, at this point, it seems as though she doesn't know what the diagnosis actually is. So just, she don't want to say much. And, again, I've talked to you guys about this waiting period, where you got to wait and you got to find out, what's really going on and how difficult that is. Melody notes that seeing Kimmy cry is a difficult thing. So she just wants to send out some prayers to her and she knows that something is going on. So Stormy has a game planned. It's game time. All right. The game is called What I Think, What I Said, What I Meant. Let's start some drama. Y'all know these games be designed to start the drama. I mean, at the end of the day, you can say, I want to have peace. Okay. But we all know anytime it's game time means drama. Okay. But the hope is usually that people can resolve the issues. But we all know what it means. Okay. At least for the viewer. I feel like whether or not you might have good intentions, but whether or not the cast can control themselves is another. All right. Yes, that's the thing. See, you can have the best of intentions, but if the cast mindsets ain't in the right place, we know it's going to fall apart. Okay. It's going to fall apart. So let's get into it. All right. Destiny doesn't think this game is a good idea. Tiffany thinks that Stormy is asking for trouble. So the first person to go is Tiffany. Is there ever a time that you felt like something you said, something you had a thought about something, but you said something and it was interpreted wrong and you got to say what you meant, right? So Tiffany first is like, nope. And then Destiny's like, girl. So then Tiffany says, okay, I've definitely had times like that in this group, especially with Destiny. And Destiny's like, well, since you want to spin it, let's go. And Tiffany looks shocked and says, is this Detroit? See, now to me, this was a moment where I appreciated Tiffany, because Tiffany, if I feel like Tiffany has the capability to throw side shade, and I felt like in throwing your side shade, just own that you just own your shadiness, right? And I felt like that moment right there was a glimpse of the Tiffany that I was hoping that we was gonna get. Like, I'm so shady, but I'm gonna stand 10 toes down in it. Not I'm so shady, but I'm gonna run from it, right? It's a subtle difference, right? So Destiny says, yep, so be careful, all right? And they sitting right beside each other. So Tiffany goes back to her first interaction with Destiny at Destiny's brunch, where she didn't realize that she had thought that she met Destiny, but she really didn't. And LeBaric was with another. Is it LeBaric? That's his name. Destiny's ex was with another woman. Okay, so this whole situation is confusing to me. You know, they explained it, but it really just fell flat for me. Tiffany, I don't even think she really realized where she was going with it. Destiny just ended up getting more upset again. But here's the thing that rubbed Destiny the wrong way. But I love that Tiffany said it. You know, Tiffany said, I think that maybe you exaggerated that moment and got up and hogged tail to the bathroom. Now, see, Tiffany, I likes it. You know, when see, this to me is the Tiffany that I was wanting, or I was thinking I was gonna get. All right, if you're gonna be shady, just be shady, right? And just rock with it. Stand 10 toes down in it. That was a shady moment right there, but it was funny to me, okay? Because we did see Destiny in the flashback get up and go running towards the bathroom, okay? Now, do I agree that that was probably not the right time to mention that? I agree with Destiny. That ain't the right time in my birthday party to be mentioning that the first time you met me, or you thought you met me, it wasn't me. It was my husband, my ex with another woman, okay? And that woman turned out to be Melnika. By the way, now last I checked, Melnika and Destiny don't look nothing alike. So maybe Tiffany won't wearing her glasses, okay? Um, Tiffany, let's just call a thing, girl. You was being messy in the moment, all right? Maybe you didn't think it was gonna have as big of an impact as it did, but it did, okay? And so it is what it is. So I appreciated this whole interaction right here because it gave me a good kiki. It really did. I don't know why. I don't know what came of it. I don't know really where it went. I don't think it really went anywhere, but it just made me kiki for whatever reason. Um, in her confessional, Destiny feels like Tiffany is asinine. Okay. And that's when she reveals that the woman that Tiffany thought was her was actually Miss Melnika. All right. Justice for Melnika. I mean, she is literally the subject of a whole lot of talk, but we never really hear her side of the story on anything. Should we try to talk to Melnika? I don't know. I don't know. Because Melnika seemed to be all kinds of wrapped up into the cast. You know what I'm saying? Interwoven, you know, in things with the cast and stuff like that. And so I just feel like it'd be interesting to hear her story. You know what I'm saying? I feel like she all up in the cast like this. You know. Meanwhile, so then Stormy, you know, turns to Destiny and says, well, Destiny, have you ever had a moment like that? Okay. Destiny says, everybody's great. Everyone's great. Okay. Letitia is next. Nope. Everybody I've had issues with in the past are over. Those issues and those people are dead to me. Okay. Bedhead couple says, why Melnika is so close to the divorced men crew. You know what? Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate that. I don't know. I don't know what Melnika's role is outside of being Martell's manager. Okay. but apparently I feel like she's really intertwined in the cast in some way. All right. Um, so then Melody is next, and she says, well, when I went to the Madonna grand opening, I said hello to Destiny, and I said it by your name. Okay. Destiny says she didn't hear her. Melody says, I definitely spoke to you by your name. So Stormy says, well, Destiny, knowing that she did speak, you know, girlfriend, does it change how you feel? And you know what Destiny said? Nope.